All right, how's it going? We're going to take a look here at some of the writers of drama. Now, at the end of the introduction piece, I said, get ready for the essay. I meant the essay and the CLAP test itself. I think the essay is optional. But as we're moving through this, I want you to keep in mind that some of these writers, like I mentioned before, are mainstream writers. Some of them are minor. So some of these will have 1, 2, maybe 3 slides. Some of them will cover stuff in more depth. But please do the research and look these people up. And these are just some of the writers, like I said. There may be others that are not mentioned that you may find on the test itself. So always use this as a guideline to what you need to do. First writer here, Susan Glaspell. So she was a journalist, writer of novels and short stories, and a pioneering feminist playwright. So this is the first time we're looking here at playwrights, and I want to point out, that this genre is starting to take more prominence in the American front. And as we move into the contemporary period, we'll be seeing more playwrights in general. So with her husband, George Cram Cook, she founded the Provincetown Players, a theater group in New York City. So with, a member of that was Eugene O'Neill. We're going to take a look at him. Edna St. Vincent Millay were members also, and we'll talk about her later on. So this is a picture of the Playhouse there on Cape Cod, and you can see where she had this particular work started. So she was important in that realm there. So her most, Trifles is her most anthologized work here. She also has a short story entitled A Jury of Her Peers. So this is, like I said, a lot of these writers have they've written a lot of, sometimes I'll put someone under poetry and you'll see that they're also a playwright or a novelist. So, these are decisions that were made to separate them. But at any rate, there's a lot of overlap. But anyways, back to A Jury of Her Peers. It was based on true events. So Minnie Wright is arrested for murdering her husband, but she never appears on stage. So this was something that was written as a short story that was later taken into the theater. And you can see here, it's on the stage here, there's a gender section dialogue that takes place. The men are examining the crime scene, and the women, the wives, they're undergoing their own inquiry. And it turns out that the women actually understand more about what happened than what the men do. They put together that Minnie was abused by her husband, and they sympathize with her oppression. And they discover what happened, but they hide the evidence against her. And in the end, she's not prosecuted. So we see that gender division here. We see a group of women that are able to solve something that the men can't solve, and how they also protect Minnie from the crime here because of her abuse by her husband. So this definite tone of feminism in this work. Allison's House, one of the Pulitzer Prize, to play about the life of Emily Dickinson, takes place in Iowa at the turn of the 19th century. In the play, there's a famous poet named Allison Stanhope who died, and the house in which she had lived is on the market. So this is, it goes through the play here. There's secrets from the past in the work here. They go through secrets that are past, that are discovered about her family, reputation, her personal relationships, and the poetry that make the play unique. So towards the latter part of her life, she wrote novels on the Midwestern family life. So here's an overlap here, where we have a person that wrote short stories and plays moving into writing novels as well. Here we are, Eugene O'Neill, sometimes called the father of American drama. His plays influenced by classical tragedies, Greek tradition, and by the circumstances of his own family, which is something to always think about for the modernist. There's a lot of personal feelings going on here. There's the idea of subjectivity, of these are, this is what happened to me, and I'm going to show this through my work. So, obviously contrast to the objectivism of the realist era. Here's a picture of him. Another portrait picture here, dressed up. He won 4 Pulitzer Prizes and a Nobel Prize in 1936. He did write with realism, influenced by Anton Chekhov, and you can see the influence here. It's not just all of a sudden, we're going to stop realism and start a new period. There's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of characteristics that still lay over into the 20th century, and you can see that with O'Neill. So his characters live on the margins of society. Their circumstances overcome by their circumstance overcome their ability to change, and even through hope, there's maybe a hope in there, but they end up disillusioned and affected by their conditions. So that does sound very much like the naturalist, but this is categorized in a more modern stance because of its chronology. Some of his works are Beyond the Horizon, Strange Interlude, Ah Wilderness, Long Day's Journey into Night, and The Iceman Cometh. So perhaps his most known one here is The Long Day's Journey into Night. Once again, based on his own family life, but he stipulated he didn't want to have this performed until after his death because of reasons that if you see the play, you'd understand. So basically what it's about, it portrays one summer day in 1912 of a consumed and doomed Connecticut family's life, alcohol, drugs, deceit, negligence, and emotional turmoil. Definitely something to keep away from, to have the reflection of your own life. You can understand why he wanted to delay its output there. Mary Tyrone returned from a drug treatment program to her husband James and 2 children who have their own problems. And in the end, Mary does not overcome her addiction, and Edmund falls ill to tuberculosis. So very sordid, sad ending. But once again, it depicts the personal difficulties that playwright had experienced. Let's take a look here at Elmer Rice. Now this is, put this in here as something just quickly. He wrote The Adding Machine in 1923, which is considered one of the first expressionist works of drama in the US. And you might want to do a little bit of research on that. It's Skippy fellow here, dressed up. And so other stuff he wrote was Street Scene, which won him the Pulitzer Prize. And perhaps his most successful work was Dream Girl. So you might want to just look those up online quickly, look at the plot lines, what are they about, characteristics, etc. With the amount of stuff we have to go through, I just wanted to cover those main people in general. So that's what we have for drama.